الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك الحق المبين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد ولد آدم أجمعين وصلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين على مر الأيام والليالي والشهور والسنين أما بعد. As we continue in this chapter, where he's explaining the statement by the great Imam Abu al-Abbas Taqiyuddin Ahmad ibn Abd al-Halim ibn Abd al-Salam ibn Taymiyyah al-Harrani al-Dimashqi, the one who died 728 after the migration of our Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. With the time now 7:25 p.m. Wednesday, June the 12th, 2024, which agrees in these great days, which is the best days of the year, which is now the 6th of Dhul Hijjah, Wednesday, the year Aam 1445, the year 1445, after the migration of our Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. As today, everyone, we will not prolong the class today due to the fact that a lot of people are fasting, trying to take advantage of these 10 days of the Hijjah, which is the best days of the year, and drawing close to Allah. And for that reason, we will not prolong the class today. We were speaking about the affairs pertaining to the different aqa'id that you'll find, everyone. The statement of Ibn Khafif, rahimahullah, where Shaykh al-Islam was citing his statement, you'll find that he mentioned various affairs connected with i'tiqad, connected with the conviction of the people of Sunnah, in which Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah conveyed, mentioning his statements and the different creed of those who traverse the correct path and the correct belief and have the correct iman. We stopped at the statement where it says, ثُمَّ ذَكَرُ الْخِلَافِ فِي الْإِمَامَةِ وَاحْتَجَّ عَلَيْهَا وذكر اتفاق المهاجرين والأنصار على التقديم الصديق رضي الله عنه وأنه أفضل الأمة. Then he mentioned the khilaf in the imamah. He's talking about this when he says khilaf, he doesn't mean khilaf between the people of Sunnah, because the affairs of i'tiqad, the affairs of creed are united. There is no differences in those matters. He's speaking about the people of the truth and those who deviated from it, even though generally all of them ascribe to Islam, meaning every one of them say that they're Muslim. The people of the Sunnah, of course. Then you have those who deviated from the correct creed which the message of Allah was upon. Those type of people, those type of parties or schisms, everyone, brothers, also we have to learn adab of when not to give salams. There is a statement of the great Imam Shaykh Salih Fawzan. He mentions when one should give salams and when it's detested, not haram, it's hated. When someone's in the midst of speaking, they're trying to say something, Assalamu alaikum, in the middle, that's bad manners. Due to the fact that now I have to stop my statement in order to what? Reply. Because replying to the statement is obligatory. Giving salams is not obligatory. It's highly recommended. If one can do it, and it will increase the love between the Muslims, no doubt. But to give salams when one is in the masjid and walk in, and people, for example, there's a speaker, and then to say it very loud, he said it's from those matters that are disliked. Because now that we said you cut the person off while they're speaking, now they have to reply with the salams. So brothers and sisters, go back to the great Imam Shaykh Salih Fawzan, and he says, there's times where salams are disliked. There's times where it's disliked. And there's times where one should do it. And that is times when, of course, when we should spread it amongst ourselves. But in certain instances, it's disliked. It's disliked. Like for example, I was giving a class at the time at a place. And every time I spoke, Assalamu alaikum, And then another person, Assalamu alaikum. And then another person, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers, I'm in a class, trying to speak and I'm trying to give my class. So based upon that, that would necessitate I have to what? Stop what I'm saying to now give each individual that goes in and gives salams, I have to reply. So that it does not enable me to continue the lesson. I have to now busy myself with replying salams back to the individual. طيب, so let's keep going. So then it says وذكر الخلاف الإمامة واحتج عليها وذكر الاتفاق المهاجرين والأنصار على تقديم الصديق وأنه أفضل الأمة ثم قال وكان الاختلاف في خلق الأفعال. As we talked about this affair of an imamah, and that the matter of imamah, meaning that we now put forth a ruler or Muslim leader, is not from the arkan, nor is it from the pillars of the religion. It's not. You'll find as we go back to the narrations of the Prophet ﷺ, everyone, you'll find that establishing the khilafah is not something that's considered from the arkan al-iman. It's not from the pillars of faith. It isn't. If you return back to it, you'll never find it. The affairs of khilafah or the affairs of imamah, those matters are considered from the bounties of Allah based upon the uprightness of the people. That if the people are upright and they are righteous and they are pious and they God-fearing, upholding the boundaries of Allah and being steadfast upon that as a gift, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give in exchange a righteous ruler or righteous leader to lead them. So the affairs of khilafah, in which you'll find that the people of innovation, that they busy themselves until the point you'll find that they actually make this from the pillars of the religion. And you'll find it is from those matters, as they say, from those shanshanat, those matters in which they busy the people with, thinking it's from the affairs of faith, when in actuality, it's not. If the Muslims do not have the ability, then of course, then they don't do it. But it's not to the point where you'll find that the most important and most vital matters is that the Muslims unite in proper creed. That is way more important in so-called trying to busy themselves for establishing the khilafah, establishing that they now make for themselves a caliphate or Muslim ruler. You'll find that the affairs of the imamah, from those matters, meaning the deviant sects that partake and they busy themselves with it, is the Rawafid and the Shia. We talked about this last class. We talked about how they want to appoint, until they even have from the pillars of their faith, meaning from the Shia, called the Ithna Ashariya Imamiyah, the 12 imamships or the 12 imams. So you notice their affairs is that is from their what? Their beliefs, that this matter has to be done. But their affair revolves around, like we said, deitizing, raising Ali radiallahu anh to the level of being a deity. Or those imams, as they so called, that they don't know who they are, having the power to conduct in this existence. Until you'll find from some of the extremists from amongst the Rawafid said that they can conduct in this existence, which is considered polytheism and lordship, which is something that not even the disbelievers of the Kuffar Quraysh fell into. As you'll find their era or their polytheism fell in uluhiyyah. As you'll find during the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the matter which they fell into was in polytheism and worship, which is uluhiyyah. But they were sound in the affair of lordship, meaning they believed that Allah was their Lord. The problem was in the affairs of worship and uniting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and actualizing the monotheism, where they united Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where they firmly believed He was one deity and not multiple deities of worship. So the affairs of Ithna Ashar al-Imamiyah, or the 12 imams, or given bay'ah, or so-called given pledge and allegiance to a sahib al-sirdab. You'll find that the Rawafid, they say we need to give bay'ah. Bay'ah to who? They say give bay'ah to the sahib al-sirdab, the person of the cave, or the individual of the cave. He hasn't come out yet. We don't know who he is. We don't know. But we have to give pledge and allegiance to these type of matters in which you'll find that they don't even know who they're giving bay'ah to. So all these matters, as we said, everyone, the affairs of imamah, number one, it's not an affair from the pillar of the religion in which you'll find that the Shia and the Rawafid and those from the other deviant sects who ascribe to Islam busy the people with. They go to the extremes, but to the point you'll find, like we said, them deitizing Ali, and in addition to that, like we said, the other weird affairs such as the 12 imamships, or the 12 imams, or giving bay'ah to the Sahib al-Sibdab and other than them, which you'll find, like we said, they busy the peoples with, or busy their people with, and them abandoning was the correct creed in regards to these matters, especially in regards to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. We already talked about this last class, so let's keep going. Notice that Ibn Khafif, he said, the agreeance of those who migrated and the Ansar, those who received the migrants, of giving precedence to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu was the best of this ummah after its prophet. And also Umar al-Khattab. We talked about these matters. These were the affairs in which you'll find that are in matters of creed. These are from the usul of the religion, in which all of us unite upon, or we disavow and separate ourselves based upon it also. So then he goes on to say, let's keep going. It says, ثم قال وكان الاختلاف في خلق الأفعال. Keep in mind this word ikhtilaf, everyone, is not ikhtilaf between the people of the Sunnah. He's talking about ikhtilaf with the people that deviated from the Sunnah. He's talking about, of course, those who are upon Islam correctly, then those who opposed it. He said how those who generally ascribe to Islam, then you'll find that those who deviated in these foundations. He said they differ in the affair of in regards to what? Khalq al-af'al. The creation of what? Actions. We talked about this already, right everyone? We said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and what everyone? Our actions. Wallahu khalaqakum wa ma ta'malun. We talked about this already. هل هي مقدرة أم لا؟ قال وقولنا فيها إن أفعال العباد مقدرة معلومة وذكر إثبات القدر. Then Ibn Khafif, he goes on to say, he said, is the actions of the servants predetermined, destined, or not? قال, our statement in it is that the actions of the servants are predetermined and are known. They are predetermined and they are known. That affair, when we talked about, all is connected with the 4 levels of the qadar that we've been speaking about approximately for about how long, everyone? A month or more. That the first level is the knowledge of Allah, and then the second it is written, and the third it is what, everyone? Allah willed it or intended it, and the fourth is what? Allah created it. So that's what we mentioned in brief. Let's keep going. ثم ذكر الخلاف في أهل الكبائر ومسألة الأسماء والأحكام وقال وقولنا إنهم مؤمنون على الإطلاق وأمرهم إلى الله تعالى إن شاء عذبهم وإن شاء عفى عنهم. He said then he mentioned the affair or the difference in the people of major sin. Regarding the people of major sin, in the matter of al-asma' al-ahkam, and how the names and the titles they are given for those who fall into major sins. He said our statement in it is innahum mu'minun 'ala al-itlaq. He said our statement is indeed they are believers generally. The word 'ala al-itlaq, they are people of iman itlaqan, meaning they receive the title generally of faith, meaning they have not exited out of the fold of Islam. They have not exited out the fold of Islam. And that their affair is to Allah, and if Allah wills, He will punish them, or Allah will what? Pardon them. Is it clear, everyone, this statement? So let's explain it. Give some more clarity in this matter. Right. After we completed the affairs pertaining to what? Pertaining to the qadar. I think we've fulfilled that particular matter for the past couple of weeks, if not more. So let's continue. طيب, what does it mean? It says, ما شأنهم أهل الكبائر ما الذي يطلق عليهم? The people of major sin. And what do we use in regards to their title? Meaning, what type of name are they given? So you'll find that Ibn Khafif, in the statement that Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah was citing, he said, Mas'alat al-asma' wal-ahkam, the matter of the names of the titles they are given, and the rulings they are also what? Given. Are they out the fold of Islam? Are they still in the fold of Islam? Are they still given the title of being complete in faith, even though they have committed acts, or committed certain great acts, or what have you? So, the first thing is, what is the name? So the first thing in the statement is al-ism, or al-asma. What is the name that we give to the person that commits major sins? Or sahib al-kabira? Does he deserve to be given the name mu'min? Or does he deserve to be given the name disbeliever? What is the name he's given? What do we call the individual who commits al-kabira, a major sin? So do we say, like we said, do we name him mu'minan, kafiran, fasiqan, what have you? That's the question, in which you'll find that Ibn Khafif is mentioned in here. Right, so the question for the person that falls into major sins, what they call murtakib al-kabira, we say he's not a believer complete in his faith. Is it clear, everyone? He's not a believer, iman and kamila. He's not a believer complete in his faith. And he's not a disbeliever outside the fold of Islam either. Is it clear? However, you'll find the title that they give this individual, لَكِنَّهُ مُؤْمِن نَاقِصُ الْإِيمَانِ. He's a believer incomplete in his faith. Incomplete in his faith. نَاقِصُ الْإِيمَانِ. And if you want to add another qayd, restriction to it, مَا لَمْ يَسْتَحِلْ, as long as he does not believe what he and she is doing is halal. Is it clear? Yes. As long as they do not believe that what he or she is committing or falling to is lawful. If they believe that, then what happens, everyone? That will not nullify your Islam. That will nullify one's Islam. So that's one title, or it's one name. Mu'min naqisul iman, believer incomplete in his faith. Or mu'min bima ladayhi min al-iman, or a believer of what he has of faith. But however, he's a fasiq, he's a sinner due to him committing those major sins. So you can say that also. Mu'min bima ladayhi min al-iman, a believer, what he has with him of faith. And he's a fasiq, he's a sinner of what he has committed of what? Major sins. So the individual لا يزال في حظيرة الإسلام ويعامل معاملة المسلمين. So the person, he's still in the fold of Islam, and he's dealt with in the manner that he's dealt with of the rest of the Muslims. And he could perhaps be, of course, preyed upon if he dies. Of course, he could be preyed upon. So a person might say, what about the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he abandoned certain people from preying upon him? That is only for the people of prominence within the society. For example, a person might ask the question, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam abandoned the prayer over certain individuals, for example, that, let's just say, for example, didn't fulfill their debts, they didn't pay their debts. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not pray over them. Or certain individuals that committed certain crimes, he didn't pray over them. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? We'll find authentic narrations where the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam abandoned praying over someone that did not settle his debts. Is it clear? Fine. That is because in those narrations, for example, the individual that killed himself, that person is still what, everyone? In the fold of Islam. Yes, they are. As long as they do not believe what they committed is what? Lawful. مَا لَمْ يَسْتَحِلْ. However, how do we apply these narrations? Also, you'll find from the Salaf. Also, you'll find from the narrations in the books of i'tiqad. For example, Usul i'tiqad Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah by the great Imam al-Lalaka'i, rahimahullah. And other than them, from the great A'imma of the past who authored those tremendous monumental works in i'tiqad, such as Ibn al-Battah al-Ukbari, and other than them, in his book called Al-Ibana, Al-Kubra or Sughra. You'll find that from the Salaf who abandon praying over people who are individuals of bid'ah. You'll find that. Those narrations are clear. With some of the Salaf, they said that so-and-so who died upon, or he was a caller, or what have you, and them abandoning praying over an individual that was known for innovation. Those narrations are there. How do we apply it? You'll find that the ulama mention this. They say, number one, if a person dies and they committed a major sin, such as, for example, he did not settle his debts, the person who's the prominent one in the community, from the leader or the ruler, or someone is known of status, and we don't say status meaning with the non-Muslims of singing and being a celebrity. No, that's not status with us. What status with us, for example, is someone that is known of piety and knowledge, sound knowledge. Not deviated, perverted knowledge. Sound knowledge of the Kitab and Sunnah. That's considered someone what? Prominent in the community or society. He's a leader, scholar, reached the scholarly caliber and level. That individual is someone respected. When he's respected, someone may ask to pray over a certain individual. In order for that matter that he committed in some form or way, he wants that matter to be avoided and to make it a deterrent for them not to do it. The ruler or the prominent one will abandon it. However, the other people will pray over him. You understand? The other people will pray over him. That's the reason why you'll find in the narrations that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ allows someone else to do it. Or you'll find from the Salaf who said, Sallu ala sahibikum. Pray over your companion. Meaning I'm not doing that due to the fact that I am abandoning praying over him for it to be a means or a deterrent for the people not to do that evil act. So the people or the person that's in that type of position will abandon. But who would be left to pray over him? The other ones, the other people will pray over the individual. But to pray over, for example, a celebrity or a singer and all those other matters, for the prominent ones to do that, that was something that the Salaf did not do. In order to teach the people that these type of acts are not what acceptable. Why? Because it's considered corruption within the land. You being a musician, a singer, a rapper, those are people that advocate for what? The voice of the devil. There's considered corruption in the earth. And being from those who set out in the earth, causing corruption and poisoning the people's heart. Because we know music is from the means of what? Growing hypocrisy within the hearts. And misleading the people and removing them from the mentioning and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those type of people are to be what? Shunned. They're not to be what? Respected in high esteem and held in high esteem amongst the Muslims. Rather, those type of people, we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide them to what's correct before they die. Because those affairs are extremely dangerous due to the fact that how many people's hearts have you poisoned? And how many people have been affected by the poison you have what? That you have released within the earth. And people have listened to it, and as a result of it, became seduced or affected by that type of poison that you spread it amongst the people. So those type of matters are extremely dangerous, right everyone? Extremely dangerous. So that reason, when the Messenger of Allah ﷺ abandoned praying over that individual, that is only for who, everyone? For the prominent leader in the community to abandon the prayer over him. Not the rest of the people. He's still what? Prayed over. However, by other individuals or other people to what? to perform the janazah prayer or the funeral prayer over him or her. So that's the reason why a person would say, a person that committed suicide, is he prayed over? We say yes. But the one who's the prominent one in the community can what? Abandon it. In order for that affair to be what? Recognized amongst the Muslims that that's something very what? Tremendous. And not to do it. And as a form of a deterrent for a person not to do it, the ruler or the prominent one in the community would abandon praying over the individual. And then he would be left for his companions or someone else to what? Fulfill the responsibility. Is it clear? Good. So I don't want to hear that's happened to me here in Philadelphia. Well, I thought we're not supposed to pray for people that haven't settled their debts, and I thought we're not supposed to pray for people that committed certain acts or what have you. I said, no, you still would pray over them. That's only for who? Leadership. For the leadership, for the people, the prominent ones in the community. But he still what? He still prayed over them. He still prayed over them. Good. So that's the affair of what we're speaking about now. Yusalla alayh. In mat wa tutabbaru janazatuh. So a person that committed this type of atrocity or major sin, right everyone? He's prayed over in light of the details we presented, right? And if he dies, of course, then his funeral procession is followed. Tutabbaru janazatuh wa jinazatuh. And also, he inherits and he is inherited from. And he's treated in the manner of how the Muslims are treated. In regards to the affairs of the hereafter, that's what we want to now present. وَبِالنِّسْبَةِ لِلْآخِرَةِ أَمْرُهُ مُفَوَّضٌ إِلَى اللَّهِ. In regards to the hereafter, that his affair is entrusted to Allah. So a person knows, for example, that people that fall into great major sins. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cover us up and cover the Muslims' faults and their sins up. And allow the Muslims to return back to the correct Islam where they hide their sins and hide their faults. But the affair is so scary now where people publicly make a mockery of themselves and remove the covering of Allah from themselves by publicly displaying their disobedience and what angers Allah. Those affairs are extremely dangerous. And the people wonder why the society is collapsing all around us globally. Not just here in Philadelphia, globally everything is falling apart. The reason is because of these type of matters that the people have what? Fell into. And that's the reason why, like we said, those matters, they need to be rectified immediately. But as it says, أَمْرُهُ مُفَوَّضٌ إِلَى اللَّهِ. His affair is entrusted to Allah. So he's not given the ruling that he's from those who have abided in hell forever, or those who will abide in the hellfire forever. So a person dies upon major sin, what do we say, everyone? We say, نَخَافُ عَلَيْهِ. We say statements such as, we fear for him. But we don't say he's a what? Kafir. You understand, everyone? But however, what do we say? نَخَافُ عَلَيْهِ. We fear for him. And if a person dies in a state, or a sound state, or he died in a state of obedience, we still at the same time look at the modern approach in the middle course affair of Islam. We don't go too far to the what? Right? Nor do we go too far to the what? Left. Even a person that dies in a sound state, we still say what? We don't say he's from the inhabitants of paradise. From amongst our own selves of people who did die in a good state, we still say what? We hope for him good. But we don't say for sure that what? For the people that's going to paradise. For the person that's going to paradise, what do we say? We hope for him good. And we do not now, definitely for sure, by saying that he is in what? Paradise. Is it clear, everyone? So that shows the modern affair of Islam. For even for the sinner, and even for the person who's known as an individual of piety amongst the community and the society. Known for uprightness and stability in the religion. And even to that extent, we do not say what, everyone? We say for sure that individual is going to paradise. Or we say the statement submitted to the Christians, I know he's in paradise looking down upon me. Or he's in heaven right now looking down upon me. These type of affairs, like we said, you'll find from the shaitan that he's deluded a lot of people until they have fell into it. And even from amongst the Muslims who have fell into this affair. So-and-so died as shaheed. So-and-so died as a martyr. Tuba lahu. Glad tidings. may receive the tree of paradise. Saying he committed the act of what they call Hamawiyyah istishhadiyah. He committed the act of suicide where he threw or cast himself amongst the kuffar until he blew himself up amongst the so-called enemies until he attained martyrdom. It's as if they know for sure of what would have been his what? His ending result. It would have been the concluded affair in regards to him in his what? In his state. Those matters are all forbidden. It is not permissible to do. First, the act of suicide, of one throwing his body within the non-Muslims, because that's not something the Sahaba did, in addition. And then they now fall into another error, saying that that individual for sure is in paradise. Those matters are all, like we said, everyone, it shows the adl of Islam. But however, the affair what we're speaking about right now, everyone, is speaking about the affair of the ahkam of the dunya, of what we're speaking about right now. So the person that falls into major sin, as we mentioned, we don't say for sure that that individual will be from those who abide in hell forever. We don't say that. However, we do say the statements as we just mentioned a moment ago, such as what, everyone? Nakhafu alayh. We fear for him. And that his affairs with Allah. Either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wills, He will what? He will punish him or He will pardon him. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes him, it can be a form of expiation or purification by his punishment in the grave. As we know, being punished in the grave, wal-'iyadhu billah, is a form of what, everyone? Purification for the believer. For the one who died in Islam being punished. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from being punished in the grave. But the punishment of the grave generally is a form of what, everyone? Tatahiru lahu. Purification for him. And after a while, as you'll find, when Imam Ahmad and other than that mentioned said, the punishment in the grave will subside, will stop for the person who died in the state of Islam after a moment of time. After he becomes what? Purified. Similar to that in the affairs of the hereafter on the day of resurrection. As we know, a person, if Allah wills, He will punish him. Meaning, in the hellfire of the people of Tawheed. A person might say that sounds contradictory. No. There's a hellfire for the people of Kufr. And there's a hellfire for the people of what? People of Tawheed. Meaning people who died upon it, but they fell into what? Major sins. That they did not make proper what? Tawbah from. Did not make proper repentance from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can also, what, everyone? Make that a form of purification for them. But they abide in it, and then they'll be what? Removed. However, the people that will only be removed from the hellfire is the people of Tawheed. The people of Tawheed are the only ones that will be removed from the what? From the blazing fire. And that type of fire is not the fire for the who? For the kuffar, or the munafiqeen, and other than them. From Ahl Milal al-Kafirah. From the other disbelieving ways and beliefs. We're talking about the people who died upon Islam, even though they came up short in regards to their uprightness with Allah. May Allah preserve us. Is it clear, everyone? Yes. Fine. So that's what we just mentioned. Even if the person, as we know, dies when they have adna mithqali dharratin min iman, masiruhu ila jannah. Even if he has an atom's weight of faith, then we know eventually he'll be brought out, even if he has to be purified, and his abode will be what, everyone? Be paradise. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of resurrection, قَيَّضَ لَهُ شَفَاعَةَ الشُّفَعَاءِ. Allah will also bring forth the intercession of those who will intercede for him. That can also be a means to save the individual who fell into what? Major sin. Or on the day of resurrection, his scales might be tipped where his good deeds outweighs his bad ones. That's also what? Probability. Where that can happen also. And if he has those hasanat that have now become in the scale, they outweigh the evil ones, then he also, like we said, his abode will be what, everyone? Paradise, inshallah. But the affair revolves around that we do not what? We do not know. However, aqidah, our belief, everyone, is man mata ala khayrin narju lahu khayran. However, our belief is that whoever dies upon good, we say we hope for him good. We hope for him good. And whoever dies in the evil state, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve us from dying in the evil state, or su'ul khatimah, or an evil ending. Whoever dies in that state, we say we fear for him. But we do not say for sure that so-and-so's from what? Paradise, or so-and-so's from what? The hellfire. Is it clear, everyone? That is in regards to the meaning when Ibn Khafif, rahimahullah, mentioned the names of what we're supposed to give individuals that fall into major atrocities or sins. Ismuhu mu'min. Do we say mu'min kamil iman, fasiq, kafir? Those are the things that we just explained. We said, number one, we say what, everyone? Mu'min naqisul iman, as we said. He's a believer, incomplete, what, everyone? In his faith. Or fasiq. However, notice that we did not use the name what? Kafir. However, we do say there's another name that Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah mentioned in his book called Al-Aqidah al-Wasitiyah, which is Fasiqun Milli. Fasiqun Milli. The fasiq of the people of the Millah, Millah of Islam. Fasiqun Milli. Fasiqun Milli. You'll find that some of the Salaf use that statement. Fasiqun Milli. He's a fasiq for the people of Islam. It's a sinner. طيب. The fair, what we want to speak about, how do we now deal with people who now went to the extremes in certain affairs? طيب. We talked about the affairs of the Qadr, how Shaitan played around with the individuals who deviated in that affair in regards to what? The Khawarij. The Qadariyah, The Qadariyah. Right, everyone? We said that the devil, his first aim at the human being is to make him extreme in something. Either make him extreme or make him too lax. That is the plot of the shaitan every time and every place. He's either trying to get you to be too hot, or too cold. Never moderate. Not in the middle affair. Starting with your belief. Starting with your belief first. Notice we explained the Qadariyah were either too hot or too cold in regards to their mu'taqad, in regards to their conviction, their belief. They removed the Mashi'ah of Allah until they said that the mu'min or the human being has no free choice. It doesn't make any sense. So that means that Allah oppresses human beings where they have no choice over what they do in this world. Then you have the opposite side of the extreme where they affirm for the human being his free choice until they took away the will of Allah over the creation, which is also another form of extreme. But similar to that is what we're speaking about now. Those who are too hot, such as the Khawarij. The Khawarij, for a person now that commits the major act, he's now what? Considered out the fold of Islam. Kafir. You'll find the Shaykh al-Islam called them in another title, with another name. These type of people, called the Wa'idiyah. The Wa'idiyah. The Wa'idiyah, the people of Wa'id. Meaning, those who looked at the Kitab and Sunnah with one eye. One eye looking at the text as pertaining to the punishment of Allah, forgetting about the text as pertaining to what, everyone? The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they looked at the text, examining it incorrectly. That's why the Messenger of Allah said that they what? Hudatha'ul asnan sufaha'ul ahlam. He said that they're young in their age and misguided in their understanding. And if you want to say literally, stupid in their dreams. But it means that they're misguided in their understanding. Hudatha'ul asnan sufaha'ul ahlam. Sufaha means a fool, person with no knowledge. Sufaha'ul ahlam. The person would say, why do you give such a harsh description? Because you'll find that the type of knowledge they possess, as a result of it, allow them to fall into mayhem and mass hysteria and the killing of thousands, if not millions of people unjustly. Because of their misguided understanding and their misguided interpretations and perverted meanings or understandings that they possess within their minds. As a result, the Messenger of Allah said, as a result of it, that they considered these type of people with this type of title, or description rather, saying that they're misguided in their dreams, and a lot of them are young and misguided. Those type of matters, that doesn't mean all of them, but But you'll find that the Khawarij of old, and even some of the Khawarij of today, of those, if you find in the forefront, are people who are young, usually young, emotional people. That you'll find that the people of evil capitalize upon their emotions. Capitalize upon their emotions and incite them. Similar to what they do with the people of Palestine. Cater to their emotion. To the point where they deal with it in an ineffective way. No one should be out here going to sleep at night. You understand? You should not feel comfortable in your pillow when you go to sleep at night. And you shouldn't eat any food, knowing that your brother... So how else are we supposed to deal with it? If all of us are now overzealous and not in our right state of minds, how are we going to deal with it the proper way? You understand, everyone? People have to be poised. People have to be relaxed in order to bring a sound solution to the issue. That's the reason why the rulers and the leaders. And if you go back to the books of Fataawa, everyone, where Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, he put in this book called I'lam al-Muwaqqi'een. There's a whole chapter where he says, when a person is not supposed to give an Islamic ruling. Our religion is so perfect. It teaches you when you're not supposed to even issue a fatwa. That a person is not supposed to issue a fatwa when they're upset, angry, in emotional instability, to the end of the steps that you'll find. That they say an individual is not supposed to issue any type of form of fatwa. That's in regards to a fatwa. How much more than a person that's supposed to what? Lead and guide affairs that's plaguing these huge atrocities pertaining to the Muslims, of thousands of them. Don't you think he needs to be in his sound mind? And he needs to be in a comfortable state in order for him to give a proper solution and a proper suggestion to solve the problem. These are the matters, everyone, which you'll find that a lot of people have capitalized upon, especially these days and times, especially people that are considered from the Khawarij. They consider and they capitalize upon what? These type of heightening the people's emotions, and as a result of it, they try to deceive them by it. And most evilest of affairs is to now capitalize on people's emotions and misguide them as a result of it. That is from the most satanic and most wicked of affairs. I'm sorry.
Can you ask who owns that bag to take the face out the masjid?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bag. But I didn't even... My mind was so... Can you turn it away from me, please? Or can you take it downstairs for me? I didn't even pay it anymore. I didn't even see it. Just take it downstairs for me. I appreciate it. Jazakallah khair. So those are the matters, everyone, that one needs to be on guard against. You'll find that we said, and this is widespread amongst the ummah and the different social media platforms and Instagram, heightening the people's emotions, arousing the people's emotions, and telling them affairs to keep the people in a state of uncomfortability until the point where it just adds on to the mass hysteria, to the mayhem and the chaos. So everybody's supposed to be chaotic in order to now solve a problem, yahi. Everyone is supposed to be in a state of being unstable emotionally in order to come to a proper resolution. It doesn't make any sense. So those are the matters, everyone, that I want everyone to focus on, especially those who are considered from the Khawarij. Is it clear, everyone? The Khawarij, they considered an individual, as they say, Sahib al-Kabirah, the person that falls into major sins, out the fold of Islam. That person with them, meaning the Khawarij, is a kafir. He's a disbeliever in the dunya. To the point you'll find, as we mentioned, that he's lawful in his money, in his wealth, in his blood. And you'll find from the Khawarij, from the histories, they have committed some of the most disgusting, horrific acts. So some of them even killed their own parents, killed their own children, killed their own communities and societies, and even little babies. That's how evil, and why the Messenger of Allah ﷺ was so severe upon these type of people. Due to he knew, ﷺ, based upon the revelation that Allah has revealed to him, the type of mass hysteria and mischief and corruption these type of people will cause. You'll find that they could believe that the person that commit a major sin is what, everyone? He's a kafir, disbeliever, or unbeliever in this world. His money, his wealth is what? Lawful. Meaning his life is lawful. You can take his life. And in the hereafter, he will be from those who abide in hell forever. So that's the aqidah of the Khawarij. The aqidah of the Khawarij. Also from the people who have the belief of i'tizal, of Khawarij, or have some Kharijiyyah, meaning they incline towards violence and killing and mass hysteria and killing of innocent bystanders and people of that sort. You'll find from them is a deviant sect called the Mu'tazila. The Mu'tazila also possess those beliefs and those convictions. وعند المعتزلة يخرج من الإيمان بارتكابه الكبيرة ولكنه لا يدخل في الكفر. هذه فلسفة المعتزلة. Then you'll find that they come with something weird. They say, for example, they say that he enters out of Iman by him committing a major sin. However, he does not enter in a state of disbelief. Does that make any sense? No. So he's like in a state between two states. He's not in a state of belief, nor is he in a state of disbelief. That is the philosophy of the Mu'tazila. Take in consideration the knowledge that ليس هناك فرق. There's not a difference between what, everyone? Kufr and Iman, in regards to we say that that person is in a state between what? Two states. Is it clear? خرج من الإيمان ولم يدخل في الكفر أين ينزل؟ بنوا له منزلة خيالية. They built for him an imaginative state. They call it the state between two states. He's not a believer, he's not in a state of faith, nor he's in a state of kufr. So all of those matters are what? Very strange, and they are baseless, and there's nothing in the Kitab and Sunnah to substantiate this claim or this type of belief. Is it clear? So, the Khawarij and the Mu'tazila agree in the ahkam of the hereafter, not in the ahkam of the dunya. You'll find that the great Imam Ibn Abil Izz al-Hanafi, this book called Hamawiyyah, he said this. He said, وَالْمُعْتَزِلَةُ مُوَافِقَةٌ لِلْخَوَارِجِ هنا في حكم الآخرة فإنهم وافقوهم على أن مرتكب الكبيرة مخلد في النار ولكن قالت الخوارج نسميه كافرا وقالت المعتزلة نسميه فاسقا فالخلاف بينهم لفظي فقط. Mu'tazila, they agree with the Khawarij here as far as where everyone in the hereafter. Meaning they both believe that what? That person that dies in the hereafter is a disbeliever. He says, however, they differ in regards to what the Khawarij saying, is he called a kafir or not? With the Mu'tazila, they say, he said, the Khawarij call him a kafir. The Mu'tazila don't really know. Call him a fasiq, we can't call him a mu'min, we can't call him a kafir. He's in a state between what? Two states. Is it clear, everyone? He's in a state between two states. Like we said, those matters are baseless. There's nothing in the Kitab and Sunnah that substantiates or supports that belief at all. So based upon that, we know the names and we know the rulings for the individual that falls into these type of what? These type of crimes or sins. So with the people of the Sunnah, I'm sorry everyone, I forgot to. Now, with the people of the Sunnah, or Ahl Sunnah, is like we said, حُكْمُهُ حُكْمُ جَمِيعِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. His ruling is the ruling of all of the Muslims in regards to the dunya. Except that if it reaches the authorities, then the authorities, of course, can what? The authorities can now establish those consequences and penalties upon them. But that's only for the who, everyone? For the ruler, the authorities, not for the common folk. The common folk are not vigilantes. There's no such thing as vigilantism in Islam. Vigilantism is baseless. Rather, vigilantism is considered Kharijiyyah. Rather, that's the type of Khawarij. Rather, that is considered the ideologies of the Khawarij. To be a vigilante, and to those to go out to establish the Islamic penalties upon Muslims. You'll find a group of people in the city, so-and-so committed zina, let's go what? Stone them to death. You cannot do that. Is it clear, everyone? Or let's lash him in the basement of the masjid, as I've heard this done here in America. You'll find that people committed sins, or they fell into, for example, domestic violence, or they fell into some type or some form of sin, where it be zina or what have you, or whatever, or the sword, bringing them downstairs in the basement of the masjid and lashing them or beating them. All those affairs are impermissible and prohibited. That's only for who, everyone? That's only for the ruler and for the authorities. It's only for the ruler and the authorities. Based upon that, as we said, however, the people of Sunnah, the ahkam of the dunya, we say that that person is under the will of Allah. Either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him or Allah will overlook him. However, we do not say that he's complete in his faith. Is it clear, everyone? He's incomplete. And in certain instances, if they're open, then certain things are dealt in a certain way where it could be used as a form of deterrent for them. It could be used as a form of deterrent to let them know that that act that they're indulging in is not right. That affair is not unacceptable with Allah and His Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. That those matters are considered from corruption or form of corruption within the earth. So that's the thing that we wanted to clarify. So number one, we say in regards to their title or their name, تحت مشيئة الله. They're under the will of Allah. What the Mu'tazila or the Wa'idiyah, like we said, the Mu'tazila say in this world, they're what, everyone? In a state between what? Two states. The Khawarij, what do they say? He's in the hellfire in both instances, whether he's in this world or where? In the hereafter, in the next life. Good. So that's in regards to what we just mentioned. We're about to stop because I think some people want to now break their fast soon. We'll stop here, inshallah. Any questions about the lesson, everyone? Hold on.
So it's safe to say that due to their extreme beliefs, there's certain sects that we claim that they're out of the fold of Islam because they believe that it's lawful. They're
You mean the Khawarij? Are they out of the fold of Islam? The ulama differ in regards to that. Some of the Sahaba did declare them to be outside the fold of Islam. Some of them did consider them to still be in the fold. The Khawarij, depending on their belief. You'll find that I'll talk about that later. But the Khawarij, they themselves, but the Khawarij of now, current days, the Khawarij of today have gathered between being Khawarij and the opposite, which is called Irja. As we'll talk about that next class. You have the Khawarij, and the opposite side of the extreme is Irja. They're two lax. You'll find the Khawarij of today gather between both. That's to let you know how confused they are. Okay. What do I mean by that? You'll find that people who of today that go out to kill for jihad, go fight jihad, fight and kill the disbelievers. None of them. And then these people who you're called to go fight, so-called in the way of Allah, they're not praying. So they fell to killing these individuals, and at the same time they're not what? Praying where they fell to irja. You understand? So the Khawarij of today is totally lost. And that you'll find that the majority of those who incite them to go fight, when they go on these YouTube channels, and I wouldn't believe, and I wouldn't find it far off that a lot of the kuffar are the ones who monetarily set these type of traps for the Muslims to keep them weak and to keep them divided. But you'll find that they say to them, for example, oh, don't worry about it. You used to be a drug dealer, just go fight. Sacrifice your life for Allah. Now teaching him that first thing you need to do, akhi, is what? Rectify yourself first. Rectify your iman, gain some knowledge, rectify your affairs with your Lord first, your priority. In addition to them, inciting them to participate in an unlegislated, innovative jihad, which is the jihad of the devil. See, and you'll find that they teach them nothing about the usul of the religion. Just go fight. So now you're inciting the person not to even rectify themselves, but rather at the same time even fall into affairs of irja. You'll find that they gather between both. One in a fight because of Allah, between even pray Fajr, you understand? Or you'll find that they're still smoking, or they're doing certain things that they shouldn't be doing, which you'll find that they gather between both matters, being khariji and being murji at the same time. In irja, we'll talk about that next class. But as far as in regards to now, shaitan, you'll come to the Muslim with just the simplest way we can break it down, irja. If you want to keep it simple, everyone listening online, irja is when you hear a Muslim say out of their mouth, I don't have to pray, Islam is here. I don't have to do that. Allah is all, He's Ghafur Rahim. Allah is all merciful. So what did they do? They went from the Khawarij, looking at the text of the punishment of Allah, until they went to the what? The text, looking at what? The mercy of Allah. Allah is all forgiving. Allah is all forgiving. I don't have to do that. I don't have to pray 5 times a day. Faith is here. I don't have to outwardly display my Muslim identity. Faith is here. I don't have to look. Faith is here. I don't have to stay away from girls. Faith is here. I don't have to stay away from riba. Faith is here. I don't have to grow my beard. Faith is here. I don't have to strengthen the ranks in the prayer. Faith is here. Faith is here. Faith is here. Faith is here. You understand? So basically they're saying, what everyone, actions is not from what? It's not from faith. It's the opposite of the Khawarij. And that's what you'll find that the Khawarij of today gather between both. Gather between being Khariji and at the same time being from the people of Irja. And you'll find that there are people of what? Those who are furthest away from the Sunnah. And you'll find from a lot of them, cutting their beard, shaving it, smoking. How many I've seen from the videos, person saying that he fought in the cause of Allah and smoking a cigarette. You understand? We went to go fight Allah and smoking a cigarette. And all these other matters that are considered type of what? Weird affairs, weird atrocities. Fine, we'll stop here. Any other questions? Any questions? It's time? It's not time yet. We got 9 minutes? Okay, we'll stop here. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.